and I'm a senior design analyst at Power 2 Design. I've been working very hard with your designers here at Discover over the past few weeks to revitalize Discover's advertising campaign. And I'm very excited to be with you today to really discuss what we've come up with. Now, I'd like to start off with a quick cartoon. And the joke here is that the client walks into the credit card company asking, why was my card canceled? And the credit card company simply responds, we canceled your credit card because, frankly, you bore us. And the problem with this is that in today's society, the credit card industry is really viewed in a negative light. And that was really our overarching theme with this new campaign, is to try to address Discover's brand image, but at the same time convince users that our card is better than the competition. So to begin with today, I'm going to just review the What If campaign, recapping why we need this revitalization. I'll dive into some industry analysis next, which really informed a lot of the decisions we made in the design process. And then I'll unveil the two ads, one for the balance rollers and one for the business owners. And in doing so, I hope to explain the design process as well as how I feel that these two ads promote a caring image for Discover, but also really focus on those concrete benefits of switching to Discover Card. So the What If campaign, released in 2006, it's print, online, and TV advertisements, and it's basically designed to reflect a new brand imagery for Discover. So by throwing the scissors at the card, or by throwing the card at the scissors, essentially Discover was trying to address four main consumer wants, and that's clarity, control, rewards, and service. And it's designed to turn a sense of frustration into a sense of empowerment, right? Now, I've been over the design failures before, but I'm just going to recap these in Lexus, audience, and branding really quickly. So Lexus is too wordy and ultimately uninformative. It leaves the viewer very confused. The audience is too narrowly portrayed, and the branding is ultimately what fails the ad because it doesn't link Discover to the scissors. The scissors become the focus of the ad. Now, it's not as if this whole What If campaign is it's a terrible idea. Rather, we can use this attempt to promote a positive brand image, but also really show how Discover has better cards than, say, Visa and MasterCard and American Express. So let's take a look at some industry analysis. The 2005 advertising spending by company. And I'm going to use this graph to actually go into a bit more detail. Let's start with Visa and MasterCard. And these guys are open-loop systems. What that essentially means is that at every step at every transaction, there are multiple parties involved. And so the issuers then compete for new users, while MasterCard and Visa can really focus just on their brand image. So this graph is actually then misleading because the reality is that you have these big banks like Citigroup and Capital One who are helping out MasterCard and Visa by advertising their cards. Now in contrast, so here's an example of a Visa ad that does just that. There's very little substance. It's really all about brand imagery, and it's kind of a feel-good ad. And another example of this would be Visa sponsoring the Olympics or MasterCard sponsoring the World Cup. Now in contrast, if we look at American Express and Discover, these are closed-loop systems. So what that means is that we're involved at every single step of the way in terms of authorizing the card, issuing the card, setting the interest rates, all of that. And this presents an additional challenge for Discover, but it's also good in that we can completely control our brand image with our advertising. So here's an example of American Express recently is trying to change their image from an elite crowd to a younger, less affluent crowd. The other very important thing that we learned from our research was the importance of the reward card market. If you look at reward card growth as a percentage of overall growth, what you see essentially is that reward cards are driving the credit card market right now. And you see an accompanying downward trend at the same time in the attrition rate. That is, as reward cards saturate the market, you find fewer people canceling their cards. Put another way, the most important factor for getting people to use their card is simply the rewards. So that's really what we're going to focus on in this new campaign. Now, how do we target the first audience? That's the balance rollers. The balance rollers occupy 60% of all credit card holders, and they account for 37% of profits. And this is really a traditionally ignored market because typically they're less affluent crowd. And this is a really great opportunity because we already have a card lined up for them, the Discover Motiva, which offers a pay-on-time bonus. So people who are borrowing money, as they pay it back, when they pay it on time for 6 straight months, they get 1 full month of interest back as a cash back, and that's very marketable. So let's take a look at the design of the concept ad that we came up with. The tagline actually for both ads is, wouldn't it be nice if life rewarded you like Discover? And the focus again is on the rewards. Now the message here is you have an actual envelope affixed to the ad. And so this is user interaction because the research suggests that the balance rollers really appreciate these types of personal connections. Now, the people, they'll read, thank you for paying the rent on time, discover your reward inside, and from there they can go down and kind of find out what the Discover Motiva is about, or they can actually open the envelope and they see a fake $50 bill, which actually on the back side has more information about the Discover Motiva that they can then take with them if they find it, cute and amusing. So, as far as audience, we really like this visual metaphor, this life experience of paying the rent, because lots of people have done it before, and even if you haven't, you can really sympathize with this mean landlord stereotype. Now, in terms of branding, because this is a complicated ad, we really had to reinforce the Discover brand image. And so we have Discover here, 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 and in the envelope as well. So it's all over the place to really emphasize that this is a Discover ad, and we really care about this audience. For the business owners, this is also a similar trend in that you have large purchases being made, but only 10% of these purchases are being made on a business card. And so this is really an emerging market that's projected to grow in the future, and we're really excited about matching this audience to the Discover Business Card, which provides lots of great rewards, but the focus of this ad is really going to be that cash back. The 5% back on office supplies, the 2% back on gas, plus the additional bonus you can get by buying with select partners like Apple or Staples. So here's the ad we came up with for the small business owners. And essentially, the hook here is not user interaction, but it's a visual hook, a visual appealing image. And we did this because the small business owners really appreciate connections with family and leisure. They're often overworked and stressed. And so we feel that this actually does a great job of doing that. And at the same time, you notice there are no references to gender or age because you have a diverse demographic here. And so we feel that everybody can really sympathize with this, and this is a properly targeted ad. Now in terms of branding, it's a little trickier in this ad, but we feel we've done an okay job in terms of the text really grounding it in terms of this is a Discover ad, and also you have some subtle vectors and some color choices that reinforce the Discover colors. So now, revitalizing this campaign, it's going to be expensive, the user interaction, right? Costs quite a bit of more money. And why should we do this? Well, if you look at today's market share, we occupy 7% of the market. And actually, that's not much different than 1988, when we occupied 5% of the market. We were 3 years in existence in 1988. So we haven't really done much in all these years. And now is really the time to change our campaign. I've argued today that we need a new campaign, and I think that these two concept ads will do a great job of promoting the caring, positive image of Discover, while also really focusing on how Discover can help the consumers and the rewards that they receive. So ultimately, really, the image, we want to change this image from this type of association to this type of association, where people really expect rewards out of the cards, and they're appreciative of the benefits of a Discover card. Thank you very much.